I want to ask you, you've done so much, and looking through this book, I said, wow, she's done a lot. When you were doing Montel, when you were doing your pay-per-views, and along the way, folks, don't think that there wasn't hardship. There was hardship, there was divorces, there's bankruptcies, there's abuse. I'm telling you, Psychic by Sylvia Browne, My Life in Two Worlds. There's plenty in there. Sylvia, where are you headed to now? You're on track. Where to? How are you continuing this journey? Are you taking a break? Are you going forward? Are you finishing?
No. I don't think it'd be too much fun for the audience, but I had one of my people that helped me on the road said, how do you want to die? I said, on stage. I think retirement is depressing, because in the middle of the word is tire, It's just like everybody is so interested in dieting. I said, well, the first part of that word is die. I said, just do everything like the Greeks said in moderation. You don't have to become a drug addict and a drinker because that stops spirituality. Your channel closes off then. And if you're busy helping people, then you don't think about that.
How does that channel work? And are some of us protected? Sylvia, I've encountered several people and some high-profile people who are always like, oh, Steve, you have incredible intuitive abilities and you're connected. And I don't feel that I am, because I don't ever hear voices. When I go to sleep, I wake up, I don't even remember my dreams and stuff like that. Are some people protected from that? Because maybe it would distract me from what I'm doing. Are some people protected from that and others can just handle it?
Yeah, exactly. But see, what you don't realize, you may not hear voices or whatever you want to call it, but what do you think you're doing every day on your show? See, whether you believe it or not, you're doing what we call channeling. I bet you've done the same thing as I have. You say something and then you walk away and say, God, that was good, but boy, that sure wasn't me. I don't know where that came from.
I say that all the time.
Absolutely, I know you do. Because you see, what you've done is you've opened your channel to God.
I'll receive
and it just pours in.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. I'll receive a transcript, and I'll say, wow, this is brilliant. Who said this so I could post it? They said, you said this. You said this 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait.
I've done the same thing. I'll write something, and then 2 days later I'll go back editing and say, oh, my God, where did that come from? Or even on stage talking. I'll walk off stage and say, God, that was great. But it sure as hell didn't come from me because I had nothing in my mind about that.
You're right. Or I'll notice that when I'll joke around with the people I work with, and I say, I'm brilliant when I'm half asleep. When I write and I'm half asleep and I'm out of my own way, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, as I call it, it pours. It absolutely pours through. But what
absolutely, it's like a fountain.
It is. What I found interesting about you was that you have this connection not just with the quote-unquote dead. You at one point were able to sense a babysitter choking, someone who was alive. How does this, is this a lateral kind of psychic ability?
Yeah. Yeah, I call it more of a human psychic ability. There's spiritual psychic ability, which you have. But we also have to have a practical one because people do want to know not just about the dead, but the people I talk to want to know about their finances now, and they want to know about their children's health, And I think the one thing about psychics that people have a confusion about is a psychic should be a helper. In other words, if I saw you getting into a car that was blue that you were going to have an accident in, you better believe I'm going to tell you not to get in the damn thing.
Throughout your career, and I can't believe how quick this hour went by, but I want to ask you, throughout your career, were you ever surprised or surprised by a message by the other side? Because usually they seem like they're happy-go-lucky messages. Were you ever surprised by messages, or have you ever received insight on a future event from someone from the other side?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's what I do. And sometimes, like a woman came into me, and I've always said to people, don't think about what you're going to say, just let it come. And I said to her, you have a worm farm. And as soon as I said it, I thought, what the hell? And she said, yes, I do. Now, if I would have thought, not that there's anything wrong with having a worm farm, but that was the last thing I would have thought of.
It's just.
And I think what keeps a lot of people from being psychic is because they're afraid to be wrong. Well, only God is right, but I've always said you better be more right than wrong.
And so is there an overall message of spiritual human participation? Do we just keep going? Do you have what most people do, in their memoirs? They say, listen, go out there, don't be afraid, go out there and participate. And I really get that from this one. Is that your message? Get out there. This universe is conspiring.
Yeah, I always say if you don't go out on a limb, you never see the view, do you? You've got to participate not only in the spiritual side of yourself, but you got to participate with other people, because that's why God put us there. That's what our Lord's message was. He wouldn't have said do unto others. He was always, no matter how tired he got, whatever, he was talking to masses of people. And everything he said, what I love the most, even more than the commandments or the Beatitudes of the sermon. Blessed are the sick, blessed are the weak. I love that more than anything, because that shows he was all concerned about other people. And he was saying, in so many words, get out there and take care of these people.
I absolutely love that. And folks, what a great conversation with internationally best-selling author Sylvia Browne. Her new book is Psychic, My Life in Two Worlds. Sylvia, I know you got a busy schedule. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your insight, experience, and brilliance with our listeners.
Oh, honey, and God bless you, and keep up the good work, because you're really doing a marvelous service for humanity.
Thank you so much. Folks, I want you to check out SylviaBrowne.com. That's SylviaBrowne.com. And just get down. She does readings. I'm sure there's a huge list, but I want you to go on there, see where she's traveling to, see what she's doing, and definitely check out this book. Wow, what a book. Psychic by Sylvia Browne. My Life in Two Worlds, SylviaBrowne.com. That's SylviaBrowne.com. This is why I love being the host of this show. I get to speak with such amazing people. And you guys, I wish that we could have her back on, and let's just talk Jesus the whole time. She had such great insight. I think that we could talk about Gnosticism. Oh, that would be fantastic. I'll do my best, folks. She's got a super busy schedule. I'll do my best to have her back on and talk about that, because that is powerful. And just by your feedback from that, I know you all were loving it. But listen, when we go to break, I want you to check out SylviaBrowne.com. That's SylviaBrowne.com. We like to support authors like this, people who put themselves out there, who participate in life. They don't just talk about it. They live it. They participate in it. And then on top of that, they share some very painful things with us, as well as some insightful things. This isn't for me. I don't think it was marketed this way. But for me, this isn't just a tell-all book about Sylvia Browne. It's very practical life advice in here. And this is, reflections from somebody who has a great insight about life and brilliantly is old enough to just tell you how it is. You can tell that she's funny. She doesn't hold back. She's lived long enough to not care about your opinion, but definitely wants to tell you the truth, all to help you. We love authors like Sylvia Browne, so make sure you check out SylviaBrowne.com. That's SylviaBrowne.com. You're listening to Empowered Living, Life, the Truth, and Being Free. I'm your host, Steve Maraboli.